Good afternoon, everybody. So today we're here to discuss our May and June entertainment review. We are pre-recording this video on June 9th to have it premiere on June 15th. So,
So if you get this video by then, remember it's the day before Father's Day, so we hope we can give you a little entertainment in case you were wondering what we were doing.
okay, so first we're going to start off with reviewing books and movies from these lyrics and lines. Movies with Spring Vibes starter pack video, which we're going to link in the description. The first movie is a movie that we talked about the last time we did a video, Ever After. So Ever After came out in 2003 and it started through
I thought it was 1998.
1998. That's what I mean. Yeah, it came out in 1998 and is a modern day retelling of Cinderella with Drew Barrymore in it. And to refresh everybody's memory, what did we like about Ever After?
It was really a modern telling of Cinderella, and the best part about it was who played the girl, Drew Barrymore.
Yep. And she is one of our favorite actresses. So we gave Ever After a B, and that ranks pretty high up in our rankings of all the other Cinderella movies. The next movie and book that we wanted to talk about today was Tuck Everlasting. Tuck Everlasting is a middle grade novel that was written by Natalie Babbitt in like the 1990s, and the movie came out in
2002.
2002 and starred Alexis Bledel from Gilmore Girls. Um, and I was also in the musical in 2022 with the Amherst PTA, as you can see from my shirt. One thing that we noticed one huge difference that we noticed from the movie and the play is that in the movie, Winnie's father is alive and played by Victor Garber from Annie. And also, there's no fair. Instead of running away to go to the fair, the reason why Winnie runs away is because her parents want to send her to private school and she doesn't want to go. So,
Have you ever been in that situation where your parents wanted to take you somewhere where you didn't want to go?
leave a comment below. So, we gave the movie of Tuck Everlasting a
A B.
B, and I gave the book a C plus. Like, the book is really short, but each time when I read it, I almost DNF'd it just because I thought the plot was so boring, and the movie is a little bit more engaging. And what makes the play the most engaging is the fact that they added the fair into it. Like I was in that scene at the fair, and it was a fun fair. It was a fun scene to be in.
And I'll never forget that the PTA play, which did it 2 years ago, was scheduled for 2 years before, but of course it shut down due to the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Um, and the last video from these lyrics and lines.
Is live action Cinderella.
So this is another Cinderella movie which we gave a B plus to. It's the 2015 live action Disney movie that starred Lily James. And the thing that we like best about both of the Cinderella movies that we watched and Tuck Everlasting is the scenery. Um, I believe Cinderella is supposed to be set in France, and obviously Tree Gap is a fictional town that is based in New Hampshire, supposedly set up where North Conway is. So,
And who was the one who played Cinderella in the 2015 live action?
I just said Lily James,
Oh, it was Lily James?
wasn't it? Here, let's get the box.
I thought Lily James, she was another name for someone that we made new friends of in our choir where we go to church. I think that might be Elle Fanning, though.
No, it's Lily James. It says on the box.
Oh, really? So the name's the same.
It is the same indeed. And so yes, thank you for to these lyrics and lines for recommending to these videos to us. Now we have watched live action Cinderella before because we reviewed it last year when we did our um big overhaul of watching Disney animated movies and sequels and live action movies and comparing all those types.
And I personally think that nothing can compare to the original 1950 anime movie of Cinderella because it was really Walt Disney's creation, and that was really one of his favorites.
Um so next up for movie discussion today, we are talking about so we are going back to what we are going back and watching all of the Marvel superhero movies that we didn't get the chance to watch either in the past couple of years or before we moved away from New Hampshire. So like from 2022 to 2024. So to start off our backlog of Marvel superhero movies, we started with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which came out last summer and stars Paul Rudd from Friends. For those of you who do not remember which character he played in Friends, he was Phoebe's boyfriend Mike, who comes onto the scene in the later seasons. Um, and we gave this movie
A B.
a B. Um, the fact that this movie is listed as a comedy on IMDb is a little misleading, as there was not a lot of humor in it. We love the father-daughter relationship between Scott, who is Paul Rudd's character, and his daughter Cassie, who is supposed to be like 16.
Well, she's really was in her 20s.
Oh, I thought she was 16. Okay.
And also, what is Miss Newton's first name?
The actress's name, I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Well, we're gonna go back on IMDb and look it up. But as far as I know, not only was she an actress, but also she's a part-time ladies golfer.
I didn't know that. The other thing that we liked in Ant-Man and the Wasp, besides the father-daughter relationship between Scott and Cassie, was the special effects. The last movie that we wanted to talk about today is If, which we recently went to the theaters to go see. So If is an animated movie about imaginary friends. It stars Ryan Reynolds from what other movie was he in?
I forgot.
Okay. John Krasinski from The Office, who also directed it, and Steve Carell from The Office does the voice does the voice of the monster named Blue.
Mm-hmm.
So what we liked the best about this movie, what was the basic theme about how like the characters who are imaginary friends are reunited with their main characters who are adults who are kind of losing their imagination or starting to remember things from their past that they might be forgetting. And the little girl B, she's having a hard time because her dad is in the hospital having surgery, and there's a really emotional scene between John Krasinski, who plays the daughter, the father of the girl B, and the girl B, who it goes to talk to her dad after his surgery, and like she breaks down crying in the hospital room, and I was almost crying when I was watching that scene. It was very sweet.
And also, a couple more points I want to base on this video here. The movie was set in Brooklyn, New York, and where the imaginary friends were having their hangout place actually ended up being at a local spot right at Coney Island, which is on the southern tip of the Long Island part in Brooklyn, New York. But Virginia was right. Going into the hospital is never fun, and since Father's Day is this weekend, I want to give a little note here. I have been missing my father graciously for about nearly 17 years now. And I can remember when I was going through that same emotions when he was in the hospital room ICU dying. So there's a lot I can't get out of my mind about the pros and cons about him.
The next thing that we wanted to talk about is Finding Nemo Jr. We went to see this play on May 31st. Um, so our mom's neighbor's daughter Louise was in this musical as Crush. It was cute. The play was like 1 hour long, so it was like a super short junior musical, and basically it's the story of Finding Nemo on stage. And Finding Nemo is of course one of our favorite Disney movies, and we love the disability representation because uh, Nemo has a lucky fin because his fin got damaged somehow, and then um, Dory has short term memory loss, which is great representation for neurological disabilities. So I really appreciate Disney for the representation of disabled characters in this movie.
But what's absent, since this was only an hour long, from what this was just a junior production, was one of them was a scene of a little girl with braces in the dentist's office picking a fish for a pet. But this was just before Nemo would escape and reunite with both Dory and his father.
Yeah, the dentist actually was not in either, was he? No, he wasn't.
Mm.
So besides Crush, our favorite characters in Nemo are Finding Nemo, are Nemo and
And what about Marlin?
Marlin and um Bruce the shark. He's pretty funny. The scene that I like actually is the AA scene for the sharks where they're saying fish are food, not fish are friends, not food, and then like Bruce kind of breaks out of the whole thing and tries to eat Dory. Like that's a really funny scene because you can't you don't really think of connecting humans and sea creatures in that kind of way. So I think that was a really creative thing for Disney to do.
And now Janine has a couple of books on the schedule for Pride Month.
Okay, so yeah, today I wanted to talk about a few books on my Pride Month TBR. I have been reading a lot of books with gay, lesbian, bisexual, and gender characters. The first one is a book I just finished yesterday called Gwen and Art Are Not in Love by Lex Croucher. This book is basically the story of King Arthur told with a lesbian couple. Like in this book, Guinevere is a lesbian. So I really thought this was a neat interpretation of King Arthur. I have not read a lot of Arthurian books, and The Sword in the Stone was always my least favorite Disney movie because I always found it to be boring. The next book was featured in Millie Reads a Lot video when she went over what was on her TBR for Pride Month. This book came out a couple of years ago, and it's very politically focused, which I didn't enjoy because this book came out at the time that J.K. Rowling was really under hot water for being transphobic. And that's what the political issues in this book are kind of centered around. Though it's not technically mentioned, that's basically what this is supposed to be about. And the only thing I really liked about this book was the relationship between Holly and Theo. It was very sweet, and this book is apparently coming out with a sequel soon, which I can't wait to look for at the library. The next book is Orlando by Virginia Woolf. This book was April's book discussion group book for the LGBTQ plus book group that I joined at the bookstore that's down the street from us. So I didn't really like Orlando's character at the beginning of this book. I thought he was really mean and really self-centered. So when he transfers over to a woman, because this Orlando is a transgender character, he goes through transgender surgery, which really wasn't well known in his time period, which was like the 1800s. So I really liked Orlando much better as a woman than a man. And the final book I wanted to mention is the book for this month's discussion at Print Bookstore, which is Something Wild and Wonderful by Anita Kelly. I'm gonna probably review this book in my video later this month when I do my monthly wrap up, because the book discussion is tomorrow and I will have a lot more to say about it after I do the discussion. Um, but I really enjoy this book. It's set in the desert out by where Las Vegas is. So I really like the picture that Anita Kelly paints of the landscape. It's very pretty and it's a place I've never been. So, thank you for tuning in. And our next video will be out on June 29th.
And that's when we're going to be reviewing other movies like Black Panther and Marvel. And we're going to be checking out movie in theater, the new Inside Out 2.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, at the time that this video is posted, I'm going to be putting on a special link to our website where if you take a look at it on the archive, most recently I was in a chorus where we were doing a performance with some great music about uh, with some artists like Elaine Hillenberg and Kyle Peterson, because there was also our choir directors and the piano players last day with us. So look for that link, and hopefully you get to check to see how I look as a singer.
Okay, we will see you guys in a few weeks. Have a great day.
Happy Father's Day.
Bye.